Hey YouTube family, it's Sarah. It is Tuesday. It is freezing cold. It's minus 40 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit, same thing here. But the kids are in school and it's Tuesday, so it's video time. It's going to be a tough love Tuesday, but the tough love is directed at me. If you saw my Friday video, you saw that I had a pretty crazy December, had a big weight gain, and I wanted to kind of make a video talking about the reasons, not the reasons behind the gain because it's pretty obvious, but the reasons behind why I was off track and how that happened. Hopefully, obviously I've thought about it quite a bit, but hopefully I don't know whether it will help anyone, but I guess I'm hoping that just talking about my reasons might resonate with someone, and if you can avoid going down that path, maybe that's a good plan. So, yeah, that's what it's going to be today. All about me. What's new? A couple things. Thank you to everyone who commented on that video. I really appreciated it. I know that there were people who said, Sarah, you don't have to defend yourself or explain what happened. And I understand that this isn't about me trying to, please anyone or anything like that. It's more trying to help someone, and just kind of get it out there. The other thing I wanted to say was, I think there was part of the video that was maybe a little confusing where I was talking about being afraid of maintenance because, I had gained so much weight. I guess I think made it sound, just based on people's comments, like I was, saying, well, like, am I going to have to eat 1,200 calories forever? And, yeah, there's part of me, honestly, that is pissed off by that, but I understand that. I think for me, what the issue was that, yes, I was off track, but not like what old Sarah would have done. It was out of control, quote unquote, for, Sarah now. Sarah, less of Sarah, the sleeper. But old Sarah would have just like gone 3 times as nuts as I did. So, I know what I ate and what I drank, and I just felt like it didn't make sense with the huge gain. I gained 8.5 pounds in 2 weeks. And I know, weight loss is not just calories in and calories out, but you have to figure to gain 8.5 pounds, I would have had to have 32,000 extra, or 31,500 extra calories, not calories over those 2 weeks, extra calories over and above. There's no way that I did that. That would be taking in 3 times as many calories as I normally do. And I didn't. I just didn't. I wasn't like binging every day. So I guess that was what scared me, was I know that, studies have shown that someone who was morbidly obese has to eat way less calories to maintain at a certain weight than someone who never had a weight problem. And I just thought, like, is this my body rebelling? Is this always the way it's going to be? Like, I go off track a little bit and I gain 8 pounds in 2 weeks? That's kind of insane. I don't even think I would have normally gained 8 pounds in 2 weeks like before. So that was the part that was bothering me, and it was just the amount of weight that I gained versus how off track I had gotten. The good news is I actually lost 6.5 of those pounds already. A lot of it was water weight. I said, please don't tell me that it's water weight, because it's not. And I felt that way because I'd been at least 236 for more than a week, probably 10 days. And I thought, there's no way I can be retaining water for 10 days. No, I was. As soon as I went back to eating properly, I literally dropped 6 pounds almost overnight. About 5.8 pounds in one day. And then another, I guess, pound or almost a pound over the next couple of days. So the good news is I'm back to about 232. Still a 2-pound gain, if you look at my lowest weight. But my mentality has totally changed. That 2 pounds will come off, and more will come off, and I'm ready. So why did this all happen? First, well, no, not first. I'll talk about that later. I think the number one issue is that my anxiety has become uncontrolled, and that was a major factor. And I have no one to blame for that but myself, to be honest. I just didn't know that anxiety was an eating trigger for me. I don't know how many of you have dealt with anxiety or know someone who deals with anxiety. It's never been an issue for me except one other time in my life, which was 5 years ago after my son was born. I had, 4 years ago, I should say, I had a pretty bad bout of postpartum depression that was untreated for 9 months, bad anxiety and depression. And I'm pretty much in that same place right now. I feel almost exactly as I did then. I believe it's hormone related, to be honest. However, I haven't done anything about it. And the depression aspect of it is something that, you know, I can kind of deal with on my own, but anxiety is a completely different thing. For me, it's a very physical thing. I'm at the point now where on a daily basis, I feel the anxiety constantly throughout my body. Similar to if you're excited or anxious about something, or that fight or flight response where everything's like heightened, you feel tightness in your chest or your throat, your breathing is shallow. That's my everyday life right now. And physically, that is very hard to deal with. I have a doctor's appointment on Thursday. I'm going to get drugs, I promise. Okay. So no one has to worry about me. I'm going to be okay. But that's where I'm at. And that's where I've been at for about 3 weeks. And, or probably almost 4 weeks at this point. It is very difficult to cope on a daily basis with that. And so I talked about doing a lot of grazing, and I really think that a lot of that had to do with just trying to comfort myself physically. I always think of eating triggers as mostly being emotional things. And I was like, well, I'm not really an emotional eater, so not a problem for me. Well, I'm still not really an emotional eater, but physical issues, and I know people who have deal with, you know, pain and talk about pain being a trigger to eating, and I understand that now, to be honest, because that physical anxiety was what was triggering this grazing, the food just being a physical comfort, and also sort of like something to concentrate on. It's I don't know how well I can explain it, but I had this realization of how tied into the anxiety the food was when I realized more heightened my anxiety, the more I was eating. The days that I could look back and go, and I was still tracking too, but the days I could go back and go, okay, this day was really bad, and I noticed I would eat more. Or like Christmas when I had to deal with my family and I would eat more, or whatever it was, or drink more, which is the other thing. Alcohol absolutely helps with my anxiety. I won't lie, it really does. I'm sure it does for a lot of people because it's a depressant and it relaxes you. And clearly I don't want to have an alcohol dependency. And so that is why January is going to be dry, people. I'm not saying I'm never drinking again, but I mean, it did not, help in any way. It was fun while it lasted, but no more drunk months anyway. So yeah, that was a big part of it, was the anxiety issue. Another big part of it was just, what's happening with the iPad? Crazy lighting. Better, worse? There we go. Okay, sorry. Another issue was just a lot of things colliding in my life at the same time, at probably the wrong time. Obviously my depression and anxiety being heightened, some personal issues, the holidays, which I've talked about being very stressful for me and I'm not a fan. It also enabled my eating and drinking because the holidays, everything is around. There's lots of bad foods, lots of alcohol. People are giving it away, right? They're not just giving it away. They're like, oh, here, take this. December was bad because it was like I was away 1 week, then it was my birthday, then it was Christmas, and it was New Year's. There was always some reason to be overindulging. And then, you know, still dealing with identity issues and some negative things that have actually been happening because of my weight loss. It all kind of came together in this like perfect shitstorm to kind of throw me off track. Again, I can't say that I was, you know, out of control. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew what I was doing. I was justifying to myself to some degree that it was okay. It would be okay. I have been good for so long. I deserve it. And I've talked about that in a Tough Love Tuesday video before, about the danger of the words, I deserve it, or the mentality that you deserve it. You don't deserve to go crazy and gain 8 pounds in 2 weeks. You deserve to be healthy and to keep, you know, strong and to do what's good for your body and your mind. That's not what I was doing. So please don't think that I'm trying to say someone kicked me off the wagon. I voluntarily jumped. And, that's an aspect of it as well. An aspect of it is the fact that food is good. Food tastes good. It makes you feel good. Drinking is fun. I like the taste of alcohol. I would be lying if I said I didn't have fun in my time off the wagon. I did have fun. I had lots of fun. It's just in the cold, hard light of day, I don't know whether it was worth it. But I'll say this. I really feel like this all happened for a reason. And that's, my kind of life philosophy is like that. I believe that things happen for a reason. They happen to teach you. They happen to guide you. This was a lesson I needed to learn, and I probably needed to learn it exactly when it happened. I needed to learn it because it helped me to understand that my mental health was no longer under my control. That it was affecting my physical health, affecting my relationships, my family, and that I needed to do something about it. It was the kick in the ass that I needed. So just in that aspect, I needed to have that experience. I'm not saying go out and do the same thing. By all means, don't go out and do the same thing that I did. But for me personally, it was, I believe I'll look back on it as a positive experience, in that the experience itself may not have been positive, but positivity and positive things will come from that experience. I also felt like I felt myself slipping, and I've talked to a few people about this actually. I felt myself slipping into this fatigue from the journey, the adventure. I don't know if I talked about this before, but some people get to goal in 7 or 8 months, or like 5 months if you're TJ, whatever. I love you, TJ, but really, come on, you're showing us all up. So it's not that they don't work just as hard or that it's not as difficult for them. It's just shorter for them. If you count my pre-op sort of self-imposed diet, I've been in the weight loss phase 15 months and I still have 40 pounds at least. No, I shouldn't say that. I have 30 pounds at least to go to a place where I think I'm going to be comfortable. 40 or maybe even 50 pounds to go to, what might be my final weight. Sometimes that's hard to deal with. 15 months is a long time to dedicate to anything that is as hard as this is. And it's difficult to be that strict for that long. I don't really know how else to describe it. I don't know if someone who's like newer in their journey will quite grasp that. But it doesn't get, I don't want to say that it gets harder, because I used to hate that when I was a newbie and people would be like, it gets harder. And I'm like, screw you, it's hard now. I don't know that it gets harder, but it gets different. It's harder in a different way. And yeah, I mean, I'm grateful in a way that it happened. And I think that maybe I needed it. I know that's going to sound like justifying, but like, I think I sort of needed it. I think even physically, maybe I needed it. I've had a lot of phisically weird things going on lately. I actually think that I might need to just kind of maintain, I needed to maintain, I should say, for a little bit. I needed to slow down my weight loss a little bit. It just has seemed to be really hard on my body lately, everything that's gone on. So I guess I just wanted to share all that stuff because I didn't want to freak anyone out. I know that there are probably newbies who are like, well, oh my God, like, how could you allow yourself to like fall off the wagon like that? How could you gain 8 pounds in 2 weeks? And I just wanted to be like, listen, it happened. This is how it happened. These are the whys. But I also want to say, this is the beauty of this tool, of this surgery, is that you can get back on track right away. And I also got tired of eating that way. Like at the end of it, I was kind of like, this is gross. Like I want to go back to yogurt and chicken and whatever. And I've been happy the last week, eating all those usual things. So, hopefully this was helpful to someone. You guys will see me back on Friday with my Friday update. And, until then, always remember, it's not just about what you've lost. It's about what you've gained. Love you guys. Bye.